In Wheelspin, we drive the recently launched second generation Porsche Panamera. And we ride the Triumph Rocket 3. And on the road, we drive the Fiat Linea to Devprayag.
Looks like a Porsche to you? Yes. That's what many people asked when they first saw the Panamera, Porsche's first four-door car. And to many purists like me, it sounded like total blasphemy. Four-door Porsche. But then with time, people get used to, well, everything and anything, including the Panamera. The Panamera didn't really die a premature death, but actually it survived long enough and successfully enough for the company to have brought out the second generation, which was launched recently in India. We get in behind the wheels to bring you what the Panamera is all about.
Porsche launched the Panamera to widen its customer base. And to do that, it chose the Gran Turismo way. Elongate the wheelbase, fill up the car with 4 seats, add 2 more doors, and bring in a few more creature comforts, without taking away anything from underneath the bonnet. The engine with its mammoth power output still remained the central figure and encouraged drivers to play the Porsche theme music of instant power and rapid acceleration. The only difference was that with 4 doors and 4 seats, they could take their loved ones to this lively opera of hard acceleration and fast cornering with instant precision. And all this came wrapped in impeccable credentials of the Porsche brand. Perfect recipe for a sports car turned into a high-performance family sedan. The Panamera was launched in 2009 globally and came to India the same year, while the diesel was launched in 2012. Over 100,000 units have been sold so far globally, and this probably makes Porsche's assumption right that there is a big market for a Porsche branded car which is practical and can take on the high-end performance sedans. In India, the Panamera is sold in 4 petrol variants and a 3-liter diesel variant which we are driving today.
India is a strange country. Well, we all know that, don't we? And it gets even stranger, I tell you, when people go about shopping for an expensive car. The first question they ask is, what is the fuel average? Kitna deti hai? And there is a clear preference for the cheaper fuel, which is the diesel here. And to target all those buyers who are looking for a crore-plus car with economy on their minds, Porsche has put in a 3-liter diesel unit here to target them. Sometimes reason becomes very strange, doesn't it? Other than economy, there is another big reason why many drivers prefer a diesel. Because diesel engines are torquey and they have a lot of low-end grunt. And that, I guess, is a good reason to drive a diesel. Fire this Panamera here and you will be hard put to tell that there is a diesel that goes to work under the bonnet. It's super quiet in here and there are no vibrations. Panamera diesel is no fire-spitting monster like its older sibling the 911 or even the Boxster. But with 250 PS on the tap, it's not slow either. But what really comes in handy is the 550 Newton meters of torque. And that should be really helpful in city driving. For all those who have economy on their minds, this diesel unit should be good news. And my guess is it should average around 10 kilometers per liter, even in city driving conditions. And that's not bad for a car as fast as this or even as big as this. This diesel unit is very refined and power delivery is very linear. And a slight press of the gas pedal sees you surging ahead fast. terms of driving dynamics, you are sure to miss the Porsche DNA. There is a pronounced understeer, and around corners, I would advise do not push her as you would a 911. Instead, drive her like a sedan, maybe just a shade faster. The Panamera looks like a Porsche, is built like one and has the same classy feel to it. But to me, it looks like a 911 stretch limo. And for the first time, while reviewing a Porsche, we will talk about leg space, head space, rear seat comfort, and even boot space. But I guess there are plenty of people in India who like to be chauffeured around, even if it's in a Porsche. And this car is meant for all those people.
So what are the changes in the second generation Panamera? Well, the rear windscreen has been made 10 centimeters wider and the D-pillar has been made slimmer to help increase visibility. The light cluster with bi-xenon as standard and LED as an option is new, and so is the fog lamp and the air dam. And this has given the front a changed identity. The side view mirrors now have a camera to help you drive and park better, and the 18-inch wheels are of new design too. The rear tail lights too are redesigned, and the twin exhaust reminds you that it is still Porsche power coming from under the bonnet. The inside is sheer luxury with leather-wrapped seats and new garnishings across the trim. The rear seats are comfortable with individual controls for AC and a Bose entertainment system with controls in the rear, and attention to minute details like individual headphones. And strange as it may sound to talk about boot space in a Porsche, the Panamera offers a decent-sized boot, comparable to any mid-size sedan with 445 liters of space, which can be stretched to 1200 liters if the seats are folded down. Yes, split seats too. And with all these comforts and practical features, the Panamera can be easily given the tag of a luxury sports car. And owning a Porsche too might also become a bit easier, with the company making concentrated efforts to open its own outlets. And currently it has 8 showrooms and service centers across the country.
Practicality is what you are looking for in a high-end sports car, which by itself is a contradiction, then this Panamera might just work for you with 4 doors, 4 seats and even a boot. And she's gorgeous and a complete head turner, which adds to the appeal. But for me, the brand Porsche signifies 2 things: unadulterated performance and top-notch driving dynamics. And I would rather have my Porsches fast with 2 doors rather than an extended wheelbase with 4 doors.
In a world where bigger is always better, nothing even begins to come close to what I've got today. With its sheer huge size and Street Fighter stance, this is a bike that all motorcyclists must experience at least once in their lifetime if they are to reach the ultimate high. Ready for this? The Triumph Rocket 3. Way back in 1886 in England, they started making bicycles, but by 1902, they had already made their first motorcycle. This is probably the oldest surviving British motorcycle manufacturer in the world today, and they're going to be introducing their bikes in India sometime next year. So here's a peek at their biggest, baddest motorcycle in their lineup. If the Triumph badge does not put you in a favorable disposition towards this bike, just one look and you will be drooling at the humongous size of this big bad boy. Now the sheer proportions of this bike are enough to intimidate one and all. It's about 2.5 meters in length and the handlebar itself is almost 1 meter wide. Styling, well, it's typically Triumph-like, featuring its trademark twin bug-eyed headlamps, and its raw and naked stripped-down looks make this mammoth motorcycle appear even more aggressive. The Rocket 3 indeed is a very comfortable bike to be on. Because it is a cruiser, it has nice thick cushioned seats which are wide enough and provide the right kind of support, perfect for touring. But it's the seating position that actually makes all the difference, as one tends to sit upright and straight with easy access to all the controls. The legs and feet too are perfectly poised to ensure an easy riding experience while swallowing down the kilometers on the long highway rides. But once you overcome the fear of how am I ever going to ride this beast, it's actually quite comfortable, and for me at least, it fits like a glove. The handlebars are nice and high, the seat is well cushioned and low, and the foot pegs themselves, well, they're positioned at just the right distance to make sure that the motorcycle lives up to its cruiser type image. Now, the Rocket 3 is arguably the world's largest capacity production motorcycle, and what makes it stand out is that there's really no other motorcycle quite like it. Now, it features a unique triple-cylinder 2294cc engine which puts out a maximum 146 bhp and a massive 221 Nm of torque at 2750 rpm. Now, all this power flows smoothly to the rear 240 section tyre through a 5-speed gearbox and a final shaft drive. At the front, we've got inverted 143mm forks, standard Nissan ABS brakes, and a 150/80 17-inch front tyre which could easily put some of the rear tyres on some bikes to shame. Now, with such a fabulous setup, it does make for a very interesting motorcycle to ride. The 5-speed gearbox is precise and effortless to hustle from cog to cog. But not that you'll need to do this much because of the insane amount of torque available. You will hardly find the need to actually drop a cog because of lack of power, and there's plenty available from as low as 1200 rpm. Just twist the throttle open and it surges forward instantly, and the 3-in-1-in-2 exhaust sounds good while doing it too. The process continues with the shift of each gear and the wonderful experience begins anew. Now, the thing that I really like about this bike is that although it is a cruiser, that does not mean it likes to go only in a straight line. Because of its low center of gravity, it is easy to change direction and navigate through everyday traffic without any kind of problem. The only thing to keep in mind is that because of its cruiser heritage, the suspension setup is tuned for comfort rather than handling, and it does get to feel a bit wallowy while suddenly changing directions at high speeds. The Triumph Rocket 3 Roadster is an all-out cruiser, supremely comfortable, and probably one of the most exciting motorcycles to ride. The powertrain is designed to go the distance, and it does so without any hint of strain. Now, all you need to do to attain nirvana is to find yourself an open road, twist open the throttle, and leave the world and your troubles behind.
Early morning and I'm heading out of Delhi, and this time I am on my way to the Garhwal Himalayas, a place where the holiest of the holy river, the Ganga, is born. That is Devprayag. That is where I start my journey, and from there I will start climbing down to Rishikesh and Haridwar. Places of great natural beauty, and there is plenty of things to see and do. So it should be an interesting trip. Driving the 2013 Fiat Linea, and today we are both headed for an interesting destination. The Fiat Linea is powered by the 1.3-litre turbo diesel multi-jet unit, and it's a pleasure to drive her on the highways as she cruises very well. Right now we are cruising on the flat highway, but as we reach towards the end of the trip, we will be doing some hill climb. But with 93 PS on the tap, I think the Linea will manage effortlessly. Approximately 8 hours and 300 kilometers later after leaving Delhi, I managed to land up in Devrayag. And on the way up, I drove past the towns of Haridwar and Rishikesh. No, I'm not going to give these two towns a go by. Instead, I'm going to stop over on my way back. Why did I come to Devrayag first? There is a reason, and I will share that with you in just a moment. The reason I am here is simple, because behind me you can see the Sangam, or the confluence of two rivers, Alaknanda and Bhagirathi. And these two rivers are no ordinary rivers because they gave birth to what is called the river Ganga, the holiest of the holy river, which starts its life right here in Devrayag.
After the confluence of these two rivers here, it becomes the holy river Ganga, and it continues on its journey through Rishikesh and Haridwar, where it finally leaves the Shivalik mountains to flow into the flat plains of northern India. After a long journey through the vast plains, it finally meets the Bay of Bengal Sea in Ganga Sagar in West Bengal. Across its epic journey through the vast plains of India, it is the river Ganga which is the source of sustenance for many. It not only provides the much needed source of water, but historically has given rise to many civilizations along its banks, and in India it is considered the most holy river.
Devrayag is not only a place of great natural beauty, but it's also a very important place for all those who are religiously inclined, and it is believed that a dip here at the confluence of the two rivers would wash away many past sins. The water here is very pure and stimulating and extremely cold, and I would have actually chanced a dip to get rid of my past sins, but it just so happens that my sinful soul hates cold water, and I guess I will have to wait till summer to take a dip here.
Devrayag is a town and a Nagar Panchayat in Tehri Garhwal district in the state of Uttarakhand, and is situated at an altitude of 475 meters above sea level. Traditionally, it is considered to be the place where sage Deva Sharma led his ascetic life, giving birth to its present name, Devrayag. It is one of the 5 sacred confluences in the hills and is an important place of pilgrimage for devout Hindus. Devrayag means godly confluence in Sanskrit.
These suspension bridges seem to remind me of the Indiana Jones movies, and when I look down, I expect to see huge crocodiles waiting to devour me. But what I see instead here, the beautiful white waters of the Bhagirathi flowing straight down from the Gangotri glacier. This is really a beautiful sight as you see the gurgling waters coming down. But this suspension bridge is another history. When the man-eater of Rudraprayag was playing havoc and Jim Corbett was after it, he spent many a night sitting here because he surmised if the tiger had to come into town, it would have to cross this bridge. But the tiger seemed much more cleverer. It never did. And Corbett had to wait many more months and many more nights before he finally nailed it in a village near here. And villagers here even celebrate today, after so many years, the event every April. You can see behind me lots of rafts, people out there rafting. They have just started from the sandy beaches of Shivpuri over here and they are rafting all the way to Rishikesh. Seems like a lot of fun. The water is flowing fast and it's really an activity which is full of adventure. As you drive out of Devprayag, the river Ganga continues to flow alongside with the backdrop of lush green, beautiful mountains. And the drive indeed is very scenic. They call it the Marine Drive here, but if I have it my way, I will call it the Ganga Drive. But any which way you look at it, it's a really nice drive. And now I'm on my way to Rishikesh and I will see you next week on the show in Rishikesh and Haridwar.